Marjorie Taylor Greene's hiding a secret. I'm pretty sure of that. And I can't figure out what it is just yet, but I'm going to do some digging to see if I can get to the bottom of this, because I've got a feeling that one of the biggest stories around right now is being conveniently swept under the rug. I mean, we'll connect some dots here, but I think somebody's trying to pull a fast one on us. And when that happens, it's time to do some investigation. Okay. Right now, Marjorie Taylor Greene's probably the most hated person in Congress, because unlike everybody else who's got support from either the right or the left, she's got no support from either side right now. She's on her way out. But it's very odd how she flamed out. It doesn't actually make any sense when you start connecting all of the dots. We know the broad story. She had a very public disagreement with Trump about the Epstein files. And suddenly she resigned, which I don't think anybody believes was a true resignation. She got pushed out. You'll have to prove that to me, because I just don't see it being anything else. However, let's think about this. She made a public showing of defying Trump and wanting to see the Epstein files released. That was completely unnecessary. The GOP wanted to vote to release the Epstein files, and she wasn't the one who spearheaded that. And she works in Congress, so she should have already known that the GOP was leaning towards voting to release the Epstein files. In other words, she made a big stink about something that was already going to happen. Why? Trump's got a pretty solid track record when you look at what happens when people defy him, people in his own party. He comes down on them like a ton of bricks. So it was entirely predictable that if she defied Trump, he was going to come after her. And all of a sudden, Marjorie Traitor Greene was her new nickname. Well, okay. That's linear. That's cause effect. You make this statement, you're going to have that happen. You make this statement that you don't need to make, you're going to cause that to happen, which tells me that you wanted it to happen, and I have to ask myself why. Now, try to follow the money on this, because you'll hear people talk about how she's on her way out, but she's going to collect her pension before she goes. So maybe this was some sort of trick up her sleeve to kind of quiet quit the last few months of her term before collecting her checks and moving. Well, if you get into the numbers, that actually doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, from the calculations I was able to make, her pension's not even going to be $1,000 a month. And she can't collect it now. She's not going to be able to collect it for like a little over 10 years. You got to be 62 to collect that. So doing all of this just so that she can kind of cash out her pension a little bit early, take a few months off before, walking off with a tiny pension, doesn't make much sense. She's got a construction company. Her Taylor Construction Company, well, actually, she has several construction companies, but she's got one that she purchased after she got into Congress. And that construction company is making her millions of dollars a year. So I don't think she's quitting because she wants a $1,000 a month pension. I don't think she really cares about that. Sure, it's free money, she'll take it, but I don't think that's the motivation for it. I also don't understand why she would quit her job in Congress now. She's one of the most recognizable names there is. There's like her and AOC. And if you don't know any other names in Congress, you probably know those two. That's just the facts. How many contracts do you think she's winning with her construction company because she's a congresswoman? And how many is she going to win when she's no longer a congresswoman? We're talking about a financial hit here. So again, there's no political incentive for her to flame out the way she did. There's no financial incentive for her to flame out the way she did. When you can't follow the money, which is typically what I like to do, then you have to start going into other spaces. You're not doing this because you're trying to do something that's financially beneficial, which means you're doing this because you got some secret. You know something that you're not supposed to know, or somebody knows something about you that they're not supposed to know, and you're just going to quietly exit stage left to get out of the spotlight. Now, what the heck is the secret? I mean, I don't know what it is right now, but I think we need to do some digging because this isn't small. One of the more famous congressional representatives in the country suddenly decides to defy the president and to end their political career. Just out of the blue, I just don't want to be a politician anymore, despite my popularity and power. No, I don't buy that. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on, because I have a feeling this is a much bigger story than anyone has let on. And if we can get to the bottom of it, well, who knows what's going to happen.